Hello.
Hello.
Yes. Hi, Amrita.
Hi, Nupur. How are you?
I'm good. Yeah. How are you?
I'm okay. This is a
Tell
good
me.
time now.
Yeah, it's a good time.
I'm so sorry I'm calling, making this interview on a Sunday evening. But I'm really glad. I want to start off by thanking you for taking out the time to talk to me, despite your apprehensions.
Yeah.
So, as I said in the email, I want to essentially talk to you to understand your journey and get your outlook on Up India, your vision for it, how you look at the media, and like a bunch of these things.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the intent of the interview. I think my first question to you will be, how did you become interested in journalism? What sparked your interest?
Now, Amrita, since
Yeah.
you've spoken to, I don't know what, 70 people you said?
I've reached out to over 70 people, yes.
Okay. And these are people who have, most of them, or at least some of them, have nothing to do with journalism or Op India or any of that, right? You reached out to somebody who was connected with me 15 years ago and you got to him through my college alumni list.
I got through him through LinkedIn, yes. I saw that he was in, his Symbiosis website had his name on it.
Right. So you got through to him. You found
Hmm.
him through my alumni list, right?
Yeah, I mean, Symbiosis website, yes.
Sorry?
Symbiosis website, yes.
Right. So
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I'm going to ask you a few questions, and if you could answer those, I would be grateful, and we can continue with this interview. Is that okay with you?
Look, why don't you? The thing is that I want to. I think we've clarified most of the things on email itself as
No, we
to why
haven't
we reached
actually.
out
I
to
do
you.
want to ask some questions.
So why don't you send them over to on an email and we can have like a separate thing for it?
No, not really, because you did not extend that courtesy to me before you reached out to private citizens who have nothing to do with my job or my company.
The thing is that, look, like as we explained, that this is like a standard
No,
procedure
this
that
is
you are
not
a
a standard procedure. If you are doing a profile on somebody, at least the very least you can do is first talk to them and then verify what they say by reaching out to people, past or present, in their lives. And there was absolutely no reason for you to reach out to people who I knew 15 years ago.
We did have a reason. You are a public face at this point of time, and we just reached out. And the thing is that we didn't insist or coax anyone into talking.
It
We
doesn't
reached
matter.
out to
It is a
them.
breach of privacy, not necessarily of mine, because as you say, I'm a public figure and we have to deal with portals like Caravan on a regular basis, which is fine. But it was the breach of privacy of several people who did not sign up to be called just because they were associated with me 15 years ago. I'm
Your
sure you
voice
see
is
how,
breaking, but it
right,
wasn't
I'm
a breach
sure
of
you
privacy.
see how their privacy was breached
It's not
because
a breach
they
of
did not
privacy.
sign up to speak to journalists simply because they knew me 15 years ago.
I messaged them and I asked them if they would be willing to speak about it, and they said yes.
Either way,
But again,
they did
as I
not
said,
sign up for a journalist to snoop around and,
there was
you
no
know,
snoop.
it
I
is
messaged them on
snooping.
a public
I'm
way.
sorry, Amrita, it is. But anyway, I'm not here to discuss ethics with Caravan for sure. There are some questions that I'd like to ask you. If you're okay with that, we can go ahead with the interview.
I do think most of those things should be directed at the in an email format or in an or
Did
to my
you
editors.
extend that courtesy?
I
Did
am
you
calling you right
first
now.
ask did you first ask me the questions before going and breaching the privacy of private citizens who have
Uh,
nothing to do with my profession or Op India? Firstly, it was
see,
disingenuous for you to say that you're doing a profile on Op India because if you were doing a profile on Op India, you wouldn't reach out to my college contacts through an alumni list.
you are you are a you are a principal figure of Op India at this
It
point
doesn't
of time.
matter. So, how
Uh,
does it matter what I was doing in college? And if you
we
want to
wanted
figure
to.
out what I was doing in college, you should have first asked me instead of going and asking random people who know nothing about me for the past 15 years.
I
Either
think
way,
Nupur,
are you
you.
willing to answer some questions? I can give you the questions and you can say yes or no, and we can, on the basis of that, we can go ahead. The
So
questions
I think you
are,
can ask.
How does it feel to work for an organization that counts the caste of fallen soldiers?
I can't hear you properly, Nupur, but
How
I
does
think
it
again,
feel
this is
to
not.
work for an organization that counts the castes of fallen soldiers?
Nupur, why don't you direct all these questions to our editors? We will explain why we've done what we've done. They can take it from there, whatever they're doing. So, this is an interview that I want to conduct and ask you questions.
It doesn't
If
matter.
you're
You are
ready
a
to participate,
representative. You're a representative of the organization since you've introduced yourself to me as a Caravan journalist, saying that Caravan is the one doing a profile supposedly on Op India. So these are the questions that I have. I believe
no,
that you are
I
entitled
think
to your answers and I am willing to answer your questions, but I as a journalist
so.
I'm also entitled to the questions that I'm asking you. So are you willing to answer
So
these
if
questions?
you no, please drop us an email and ask your questions over there. You can schedule a call, request interviews, do whatever, like whatever it is that you
Mm-hmm.
think is all
So
right to
one
do.
question though. Have you been asked to insert unfavorable comments about Op India and me credited to those who didn't want to be named? As if, some great power to harm them while keeping them, some comments favorable since you've spoken to some people, some comments neutral, credited to real people, and then just make up other comments that are negative,
I'm
attributable to
not sure
people
I
who wish to be
understand.
anonymous?
I'm not sure I
It's
understand
a
what your
very simple
questions are, but
question.
this is
Have
a
you been
reported
asked
page.
to insert unfavorable comments about Op India and me
I
credited to
have
anonymous
not
people?
I have not been asked to do anything. This is a reported piece. It is being done in line with journalistic ethics. People who want to be
Ethics, no. No, no,
named will
don't
be
talk
named.
about ethics when you're from a portal that counts the caste of fallen soldiers,
No.
please.
So, Nupur, what I'm gonna do is, I think we should take this over to email because I don't think you want to answer my questions over here like this, right? I
No,
don't think.
absolutely not. I'm willing to answer your questions if you answer mine. Do you
No,
think
this
that
is
you as
not
a
a.
journalist are entitled to answers and me as a journalist am not entitled to answers about your
No,
portal?
you as a journalist, if you want to interview me or
I'm
anyone
asking
like
you these
about
questions.
Caravan, you
I'm
please
asking
do
you
that
these
in a separate
questions.
conversation.
Why? I'm
You
asking
please
you
do it in
these
a separate
questions.
conversation.
You answer my
No, I'm not
questions
going
and
to
I'll
be
be happy to
answering.
answer
I'm
yours.
not going to be giving an interview from Caravan without speaking to my editors about it. If Caravan wants to give answers to your questions, the Caravan will do it separately.
I'm asking you as a
So
journalist who is representing Caravan when you messaged me and when you reached out to over 70 people breaching mine and their privacy. I'm asking you questions.
uh,
Are you willing to answer them?
no one's privacy has been breached,
Yes,
and
it
no,
has.
I'm not going to say anything.
Nobody
It has
gives
not.
you the right to go and talk to contacts 15 years old from my college days claiming that you're doing a profile of Op India without reaching out to me first. You should have reached out to
No,
me with my comments. You then go asking people to verify what I've said.
there
That
there is
is
no
what
protocol
journalistic.
for that.
There is, there's no protocol because, madam, you're from Caravan who counts the caste of fallen soldiers. So please don't
So
teach me
Nupur,
about
what I'm
ethics
gonna do
and
is I'm
don't
gonna
do
be
not teach me
relating
about
to the
ethics and
questions.
protocol. And I'm deeply aware that you aren't aware of this protocol. That if you're profiling somebody, you first make them aware of the fact that you're profiling them, ask them questions, and then go around verifying facts. And you would have extended this courtesy if it was a journalist who was willing to count the caste of soldiers along with you and your portal.
So
So
Nupur,
my
I'm
offer
gonna
still
drop the
stands.
call now
If you're going to answer my
because
questions,
I
I'm going to
don't
answer
think.
yours.
No, that's I have to conduct this interview. If you're willing to answer my questions and do
So
whatever questions you need
your
to ask me
protocol,
separately,
according to Caravan, is
um,
that it's a one-way street where the other person is not allowed to ask questions and only you are allowed to ask questions.
you please drop us an email and have a separate conversation for that. As I said that, I mean, I'm like this conversation. I want to have your
And
viewpoint of
if
point
wishes
of
were
view on certain
horses,
things.
beggars would ride, sweetheart. So if
Okay,
you're
I
willing
couldn't
to
hear
answer
you
my
there, but
questions,
I am
if you're
I'm
willing
gonna be
to
dropping
answer
the
my
call right
questions,
now,
I
Nupur.
answer yours. As simple as that.
No. So the thing is that you will have the right to respond to everything that is there in the piece. We will be reaching out to you with a proper set of questions which I had prepared and I wanted to ask you on this call.
Did you reach
But
out
I
to
don't
the
think
family of the fallen soldiers whose castes you were
no.
counting?
I am
Was that
going
a
to
part
be
of your
emailing you
journalistic
back.
ethics?
I'm going to be reaching out to you again with an email with the set of those questions in a few days.
I will revert to you
So
with my
yeah,
questions. Thank you.
sure, that is your prerogative. Thank you.
Yeah.